Hello friends, welcome to BSc Agriculture. If you are coming to my channel for the first time, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So let's move to the video. In this video, we are going to see about introduction to agricultural botany. I am going to cover the topic, the general morphology of leaves, which is the remaining part of part 1. So the leaf petioles as well as the leaf margin, leaf apex, as well as their shape and venation and Phyllotaxy of these leaves and modification of roots and leaves. So if you haven't seen the part 1 video, you can able to see that the link is in description of the part 1 video. So let's move to the video. In this video, I have already told you that we are going to see about the general morphology of the plant. The part we are going to see is the leaves. So you can able to see the general structure of the leaves in this picture. So the first one, which is a blade structure, which is found at the foremost tip to the lateral, which is said to be known as the blade, which is also called as the lamina, and the crisscross of numerous veins are said to be present in the leaves, and the one which the veins are said to be diverted are said to be known as the midrib, and the leaf stalk which used to hold the leaf with the branch. So these are the different parts we must be able to need to see that, and stipules and sheet which is said to be present at the edge of leaf stalk as well as the stem of the plant. So these are the parts we can able to classify in the leaves. And while seeing about the kinds of petiole, so the petioles are said to be classified as 5 types, which is the petiole, the first is petiolate, and the second is sessile, and pulvinate, stipulate, and exstipulate. So petioles, which are the leaves which used to be found as petiole, you can able to see that as example in cotton and sunflower, where the petiole is said to be present. Sessile is where the petiole is said to be absent, for example tobacco plants. And pulvinate, where the leaf base is said to be swollen type of petiole is said to be present, which is said to be found in all types of pulses. And the petiole which used to have stipules are said to be known as stipulate, and which, for example, groundnut as well as rose, and exstipulate, where the leaves without stipules. So the stipules are said to be absent in the presence of petiole, for example sunflower. So these are the kinds of petiole. And stipules, where it is said to be the lateral appendage of the petioles, which is said to be leaf bone and the base with the leaf stem. The portion is said to be protect the young leaves in bud, and once they may get manufactured food, the food material is said to be same as well as the seed leaves are said to be present in the stipules, and the leaf is said to be stipulated. When the absent, it is said to be known as exstipulate. So it is what I have classified in that. And these are the pictures of types of stipulate: free lateral, interpolar, interpetiolar, foliaceous, scaly, spiny, arcade, adenate, and tendrils. So these are the different types of petioles which are said to be present in the leaf margins. And I have given the definitions for each and every one of the different kinds of petioles. So when the stipules are said to be too free, and which are said to be small and green in color, are said to be known as the lateral stipules, which is said to be found in China rose as well as in cotton. And scaly stipules, so these are small dry scales which used to be usually 2 in number borne on the 2 sides of the leaf base. So they are said to be known as desmodium. And adenate stipules, which are where they used to have the lateral stipules which used to grow along the petiole up to certain height, are said to be known as adenate stipules. You can able to see them in rose, peanuts, as well as in strawberry. And the interpellular stipules are where the 2 stipules which used to lie between the opposite of the whole size. So the point of the stipules used to be give a hole like structure, which is said to be known as the interpellular stipules. And arcuate stipules, where they used to have a hollow tube encircling the stem with the node, and which can be able to grow up to certain height of the internode from the front of petiole. Example polygonum is arcuate stipules and foliaceous stipules. So these are the 2 large greeny leaf structures. You can able to see them in P type species. So they are called as foliaceous petioles. And bud scales. So bud scales are which the scale is petioles which used to enclose and protect the vegetative bud, and they even said to be fall off as soon as the leaf unfolds and open. So you can able to see them in banyan as well as in jackfruit. and spinous petioles. So these petioles use it as the protection of the leaf against herbivorous animals. So for example, gum tree, Indian palm, mimosa, the spinous petioles are said to be present in the petiole. So they are said to be known as the spinous petioles. And next we can able to go for the types of leaves. So the first leaf, which is a simple leaf, so where they use it to have a single blade with a entire or incisor nature, for example mango, china rose, piscus, etc. And the second one is compound leaf. So the compound leaf is nothing but the mid leaf is said to be incised into the petiole, and there are said to be two internal small pods. So you can even able to classify them as two types of common leaves. For the first one is pinnate compound leaf, and the second is palmate compound leaf. So these are the pictures of simple as well as the compound leaf pictures. And while seeing about the types of compound leaves and the pinnate compound leaves, so I have already told you that they use it to have a leaf midrib. So in pinnate compound leaf, the name is to be known as branches, and the leaf sets are said to be arranged in both sides parallel to them. And for example neem, so which is said to be known as pinnate compound leaf. And in palmate compound leaf, the types of leaves are said to be marginated from a particular point, which is said to be the apex of petiole. So the leaves are said to be grown only at the apex of petiole, which is the end point of petiole, from where the leaflets are said to be attached on the upper end of the petiole. So these are said to be known as the palmate compound leaf. So and after that, while seeing about pinnate compound leaf, the mid leaf is said to be known as branches, and the leaves are arranged in both sides which are parallel to branches, example neem. And while seeing about the types of pinnate compound, the first one is unipinnate. So even in compounded leaves of pinnate type, there are some other classifications. The first one is pinnate. So in this type of leaf, the leaf sets are used to occur only in once. So if the number of leaflets are said to be even, it is known as parpinnate. Example cassia, fistula, sesbania, these are the examples. If the number of leaflets is odd, it is said to be known as imparinate. For example rose, neem, bengal gun. So there is excess one leaf at the apex of petiole, so it is said to be known as unipinnate. And bipinnate, so while saying about the bipinnate, the leaves are said to have the two different petioles at parallel to each other, and they also use it to have parallel leaf. You can able to see that in bipinnate picture. So a twice of pinnate structures are said to be formed in compound leaves. Example acacia, gulmer, mimosa are there. And tripinnate, where there is three types of three petioles are said to be the form. One is the main one and the secondary as well as the subordinate. So there is a three pinnate compound leaf structures are said to be found. Example moringa. And decomposed, so the compound leaf is used to have more than three pinnates are said to be known as the decompounded pinnate leaf structures. Example carrot, coriander are the best examples. And you can go for the types of palmate compound leaves. The first one is unifoliate compound leaves, where a single sheet of leaflet is said to be formed from the petiole. And bifoliate, which is 2, and tri means 3, tetra means 4, and multifoliate, where there is more than 4 leaflets, it is said to be known as multifoliate. So these are the different types of palmate compound leaf. And next we can move for leaf margins. So after seeing about the structures of leaves, and now we are going for about the leaf margin. So the edge of blade, so the edge of leaf blade is said to be known as leaf margin. And they used to have different types. They are entire, serrate, denate, prenate, spiny, repand, and stipulate, and etc, etc. So the entire is nothing but the margin is even and smooth is said to be known as entire. Example banyan. And then serrate, there is a sharp triangle teeth pointed towards the apex are said to be known as serrate. Example rosa damaca. And denate, where the triangular teeth pointed outward. Example hibiscus rosa sinensis. And crenate, where the teeth are said to be rounded. Bryophyllum pinnata. And spiny, where the margin is said to be spines. Example aloe vera. And repand, where the margin is said to be slightly undulated form. Example mangifera indica, where you can able to see a curvy structure in the leaves. And steinate, which is deeply undulated. Examples polyanthia longifolia. So these are the different types I have already explained about it. And the third part is apex of the leaf. So while seeing about them, the classifications are acute, acuminate, emigrate, mucorate, and obtuse, as well as cuspidate. So the acute, where the tip is to be pointed but not stiff. So for example in mango, and acuminate, where the tip drawn out act as a slender tail-like structure in the acuminate, example Fiscus religosa. And emigrate, where the apex is to be a deep notchy structure, example orchid trees as well as butterfly tree. And mucorate, so they used to have a midrib beyond the tip present in the apex of the leaves, example Crotalaria gentiana. And obtuse, where the apex of the leaves is said to be rounder, so there is no pointed structures are said to be found, example Fiscus bengalensis. And cuspidate, so where the apex is formed out of spinous structures, so you can able to see example aloe vera. So these are the different types of leaf apex what I have explained about them. And the fourth one is the shapes of the leaves. So they are linear, where you can able to see the long and narrow ones, and lacuminate, where the leaves are long and tapering like structures. So for example in bamboo you can able to see the straightforward and round or orbicular, so which are said to be more or less rounded. So example water lily and oblong. So you can able to classify them because the shapes what they are tell them as the names. So in oblong you can able to classify them the blade wide and long with two margins, so which is said to be named as oblong. And ovate, which is normally a shape in the picture classifications, as well as even in the leaf margins it is also known as a shaped one in ovate, example Fiscus species. And obvate, where the inverted egg shapes, and chordate heart shaped, sagittate arrow shaped, falcate sickle shaped, lyrate, where it is used to be a like of lyre, and reniform, which is said to be known as the kidney shaped one. So these are the names given to the leaf structure based on their image like structures present on the leaf. So these are the images what I have explained about them, and some other pictures. So on the fifth one is venation. So venation is nothing but the arrangement of veins as well as veinlets present in the leaf blade. So I have already explained you that the prominent central vein is said to be known as the midribs. So based on the venation practices, they are said to be even classified as parallel and reticulate venation. So first we can able to see about parallel venation. So the parallel venation is said to be found in the monocots. So the one-to-one parallel veins are said to be parallel in venation, or said to be comes under the parallel venation types. So even they are classified as pinnate and palmate. So the pinnate are said to be have the strong midrib which used to give branches and run parallel to each other, example banana. So in palmate the number of veins start from base and spread out or diverge around the leaves are said to be known as the palmative venation. So they used to run along the blades and converge it as a convergent. And the second type is reticulate venation. So the veins are said to be branched again and again. So these are mainly the characteristics of dicot. So the reticulate venation also termed as netted venation based on this character, even though they are classified as two types, the pinnately as well as unicot reticulate venation, and the palmate or multistockade reticulate venations. So the pinnate venation, where the prominent midrib which used to give rise to a branch and again divide further to form network are said to be known as the pinnate or unicot variation, example mango. And palmate or multicostate reticulate venation, so where the several large veins arise from the common point of tip and they used to spread out like a blade around the leaf structures are said to be known as the palmate or multicostate reticulate venation. So for example cotton and cucurbits. So these are the types of venation what I have explained. And the next one is the Phylotaxy. So the Phylotaxy is nothing but the mode of arrangement of leaves on stem and branches, so that the plant can able to get a shading one above the other and obtain a maximum sunlight. So based on the arrangement they are classified as the four types: alternate, opposite, whole as well as radical. So the alternate is nothing but the leaf mode is one above the each leaves are said to be present one among the other, and opposite where the leaves are arranged in pairs. So at each node there is a two leaf structures are said to be present, and whole where there are more than three leaves at each node is said to be present. Example Nereum. And radical is nothing but the leaves are said to be in cluster form, and a shortened stem near the ground level are said to be known as the radial Phyllotaxy. Example agave and radish. So these are the different types of Phyllotaxy what I have explained. And even though they even have classification, the alternate leaf what I have already told, there is a one leaf at the node which are parallel in their arrangements but not one equal to another. So the first one is disticus, at where there is a alternate leaves arrangement parallel to them on the sheet. Example guinea grass and polyanthia. And is, as well as in spiral, they used to have alternate leaves which are said to be spirally arranged on the stem. Example hibiscus. And the opposite, I have already told you, at each node there is a pair of two leaves. So the first one is superposed, where the leaves arranged in single plane. Example guava. And decussed, so they used to be arranged as right angle to one another, one above another. Example calotropis. So these are the pictures of arrangement of leaves. And leaf arrangements on petiole. The first one is simple. The leaf blade is said to be a one continuous output. Example cherry, maple and elm. And the second one is compound leaf. Several leaflets which used to arise out of same petiole, what we have already told you. So the pinnately compound, palmate and double pinnately compounded. So these are the different ones what I have explained as same as above. So these are the different venation as well as shapes, arrangement, margin and arrangement on the stem classifications. So now we can able to go for the modification of leaves. The modifications are these ones. So the first modification of leaves is leaf tendrils. So they are nothing but the leaves are modified as a spring-like coiled structures, so which are said to be slender and coiled. So they are said to be highly sensitive when they are in contact. They are mainly grown as a support for the plant. So they are said to be also known as the stem twiners, which gives top support to the plant. And for you can able to see these tendrils in glory lily as well as Pisum sativa. And phyllodes, so which is nothing but phyllodes is a petiole or rachis where the leaf is modified into a green leaf-like structure for the purpose of photosynthesis, said to be known as phyllodes. So you can able to see that in Acacia melanogia as well as Parkinsonia aculeata, which are the secondary rachis modified into different one in phyllodes. And the third one is leaf spines. So some of the leaves are said to be modified as spines. So for example in rose and prickly pear, they are said to be mainly for the protection from the herbivorous plants. So they also, that's why they act as a defensive structure. So these are the images. And the fourth one is the scaly leaves. So in many desert plants, the leaves are highly reduced, which used to appear as scales. So they are said to be thin and membranous dog-like structure and brownish in color, but they also go for photosynthesis, but they do not seem like a normal leaf. So they act as a screen, so it can able to reduce the transpiration and also act as a photosynthetic functions. Example carrot, you can able to see them in cactus, desert cactus. So I have given the lecture notes in description, so please comment over the video and join us in the Instagram page. So if you like the video, like it and share it with your friends, and subscribe to BSc Agriculture and hit the bell icon to get regular updates. So thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you up in next videos.